And again, this disparity between the NHS and voluntary sector services in relation to the accreditation could benefit from further investigation and clarification, because the NHS said, well, we're 100% qualified. That's what comes through in the thing. And they are, because they're doctors, nurses, and so on and so forth. And then in the voluntary sector, we have, people like ourselves who are counsellor trained and, accredited. But there has to be a dialogue, because there's always been a kind of slight mistrust or a slight unsureness, perhaps, on the qualifications and the sort of the training kind of hierarchy and working in this. But I do think that we do need to regulate the counselling, fraternity. And again, my colleagues are nodding up there. And again, this significant geographical inconsistency. The other presentation that we had on Tuesday at a stakeholder event who were funded was, again, Health in Mind, and it was a male telephone helpline, and it's been going great guns. And again, RAL are funded by this fund, and again, the finding that men, and there's another one in the Borders that we're funding, actually really kind of, a lot of men are kind of happy to use this as well in areas, but there needs to be, again, the range, because they need face-to-face in groups as well. So into the recommendations, there's more than this, but I've kind of drawn them into these kind of bullet points. This is my final slide. You'll be glad to know, because you must be really feeling tired. And it's been a long day. It's been an incredible day. So finally, to say that, yeah, we need to review these referral policies, need to increase the availability of training for both specialist and generic services to become trauma aware. Not everybody has to become, a qualified therapist in this field. A lot of good can be done just by raising awareness. I think this, again, back to the qualification thing, the adoption of a common quality and core standards of how we deliver care. Because it's a legitimate point, but the research around the links between the prevalence and demand, again, to convince our our sort of like decision makers who put money into the sort of like the central government pot to kind of fund services, and again, this consistent approach across the specialist and generic provisions in all the NHS board areas. Back to this is, again, another slide that kind of repeats itself, but it's, again, benefits for both. I think we need specialist and generic services to be attendant to the needs of both male and female survivors and giving client choice. And so the next steps. The National Reference Group, which oversee the strategy, are made up of survivors, other healthcare, social care professionals with an interest and their responsibility to survivors. We're meeting in 2 weeks' time, so we'll be there, and we will consider the findings of this report and discuss with the relevant stakeholders, both in health, local authority, and in COSLA and other areas like that, and the voluntary sector, to look at ways forward. We've not got that planned out yet, because, as I say, we just got the report on Monday, Tuesday. So this is going to be where the real work starts. And I feel as if I've kind of, that presentation was maybe a bit kind of clunky, because it is just all so new. But I definitely think that it's been a valuable exercise. I hope that you can draw some benefit from it for your own, maybe where you guys are having to go next. And give you a kind of a bit of a framework. And we'll certainly keep in close contact with you and help you in any way we can, because I think this whole area, it's not just from profession to profession or from agency to agency. I think it's from country to country, because we've had contact from Northern Ireland, Wales and England looking at the Scottish model and saying, is this something that we can learn from, something we can adopt? So thanks very much for your time. I hope that that's been helpful in some way of giving you a sense of what's happening in Scotland, and it can also energise you, because we need to, the personal is political, we need to get this up the agenda politically to really make it stick and not go away. So thank you very much for your time. I'll make sure over here.
Thank you.